Jack Daniel's today has introduced the Tanyard Hill Rye as part of its single barrel special release series. This latest expression comes from one of the first barrel houses built atop Tanyard Hill, which happens to be right next to Coy Hill, the legendary warehouses that produces high proof, high viscosity flavor bombs that Jack Daniel's fans love. Can this be a Rye of the Year candidate? I have not tried this sample yet. I just got it. Let's find out. It's the Mash and Drum. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C. from the Mash and Drum, and welcome back to the show. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep the great comments coming below. Appreciate all the feedback, everybody. All right, so quick background. Tanyard Hill, as I mentioned, is located right next to the acclaimed Coy Hill at the Jack Daniel's distillery and home to 4 barrel houses built in the 1960s. Now, according to Jack Daniel's, this Tennessee Rye whiskey entered new handmade American white oak barrels in November of 2015 and matured in barrel house number 1 on Tanyard Hill, going through the deep winter and summer weather cycle, resulting in a 10-year-old, one-of-a-kind expression. Jack Daniel's single barrel special release Tanyard Hill Rye features Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye whiskey mash of 70% rye, 18% corn, and 12% malted barley. It's charcoal filtered before maturing in new oak barrels. This is bottled at barrel proof with proofs that will range from 130.2 to 148.8 proof. This will be available in 700 milliliter bottles across the US in limited quantities with a suggested retail price of only $79.99. Again, Jack Daniel's just kills it with the pricing. All right, so like I said, I have not tried this yet. Let's give it a pour here. Oh my God. It looks like motor oil. Dear Lord. Okay, I'm gonna give this the old swirl job. All right, since this is a sample that Jack Daniel's has provided, just gonna dive right into this one. We will compare it to the Coy Hill Tennessee whiskey, just to see if there's some similarities here. I know this is a rye versus a Tennessee whiskey, but we'll see if there are any similarities there. All right, here we go. I mean, this thing's crazy. It smells like fermented fruit, right? Like it smells like this deep, rich, dark, funky, like fruit type of combination between like cherry, blackberry, and like a roasted fig type of note. Also getting like roasted chestnuts in here too, which reminds me of the holidays. It's kind of nice. Man, the holidays are coming fast. Sorry I even brought that up. People don't want to even hear about the holidays yet. Wow. I mean, there's a bunch of oak here, obviously, but it's a very nice sweet oak profile, but it does really smell like a Jack Daniel's rickhouse if you ever walked inside of one. I feel like I do get a little bit of a mintiness here. There's a slight mint note making itself known that it is a rye. But I'm telling you, man, those dark fruit, those like fermented fruit notes, and that almost that rickhouse funk that it has is kind of muting it a little bit. I mean, tons of baking spice here. I think the one thing that maybe makes you clue in that it's a rye is the clove. I do pick up a little bit of clove in here, which usually clues me in that it's a rye. But I mean, it's so sweet, I could see people maybe mistaking this for a bourbon. So let's give it a try. Here we go. Wow. Now, by the way, my sample is 145.9 proof. So when you're thinking in terms of the spectrum, it's on the higher end. The highest one they said was 148.8, but this sample being 145. Oh my God. This is so stupid. It's so stupid how good it is. I mean, you need to like ease into this one. This thing smacks. This thing just slaps you right in the face. All right, so a lot of the notes that I said on the nose are all on the palate too. I feel like the palate is when you know it's a rye. That spice that it has, the clove, the baking spice, cinnamon, red hot candy on the back end of this. I wasn't really getting like a dark or bitter chocolate on the nose, but I'm definitely getting it on the palate. It all kind of glides into this really rich, again, that like fermented fruit, dark fruit note that I think is kind of just layered in between all those other really rich flavors. That's the thing. This thing is real dark. I'm wondering, you know, how this opens up over time. But the finish on this just runs for days. I mean, this thing's crazy. But yeah, it really does give you a lot of the wow factor that some of the Coy Hill expressions did. But I mean, the finish is still going. You can just kind of time it. It's still going. I mean, we're into like, what, 15 seconds? Crazy. All right, interesting. So third sip, now the rye is really coming out. Now I'm getting more of the rye spice, the mintiness, the clove, the baking spice. I feel like even the dark fruit note, even though it's there, it's taking a little bit more of a back seat, and now more of the rye expressions coming through. So I feel like it takes you a little bit to get there, but eventually you're like, okay, this is a Jack Daniel's rye, and it feels different than some of the other, you know, Coy Hill special release ryes because it's so dark, because it's so rich, and I don't feel like it's as sweet as those ryes were. This to me feels more like a rye than even the single barrel proof releases. Those to me have just been sweeter. This is darker, richer, and I think a little bit more in your face with those rich baking spices that you normally expect from a rye whiskey. Yeah, now it's just chocolate. I'm getting just rye covered in chocolate and barrel char, and it is delicious. That is a killer rye from Jack Daniel's. That might be, yeah. That's gonna be up there this year. That's crazy. All right, I'm gonna compare it to Coy Hill real quick so I can really blow out my palate. All right, so here's Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. This is one of the single barrels. This one's close. This one comes at 142.4 proof. So again, we're having a Tennessee whiskey versus a rye. I know a lot of people may do this just to see if there's any big differences here, but because I think the prevailing theory was that you're gonna get so much influence from those rick houses, whether it be Coy Hill or Tanyard Hill. They're sitting up in that, you know, that high elevation, getting all those just crazy climates that really make the oak and the whiskey move in and outside of that barrel. So is there going to be enough nuance to tell between the two? Yeah, the Coy Hill Tennessee whiskey, at least this one to me is more maple syrup, like dark maple syrup, borderline like blackstrap molasses rum, whereas this is now becoming more chocolatey. Yeah, and I feel like I get a little bit more of a drying oak punch on the Coy Hill, which is really nice. And I still get that banana. I get the chocolate covered banana, and I don't get the banana on the Tanyard Hill. All I'm getting is the chocolate, not the chocolate covered banana, which is kind of cool. Jack Daniel just absolutely killed this release. This is so good. In terms of like the range of proofs here, I'm curious if the lower proof ones will taste more rye forward versus these higher proof ones. I think that's going to be the big difference, especially depending on which bottle you get. But these high proof ones are normally the ones that are highly coveted anyway. But these high proofers are just just a smack in the palate with flavor, mint, rye, chocolate. Some fermented fruit is there, although like I said, I do think it tends to drift off a little bit, and the chocolate and the rye spice and the baking spices really start to take over. So, man, killer release from Jack Daniel's. Final breakdown. This one will be quick. All right, final breakdown on the brand new Jack Daniel's Tanyard Hill Special Release Rye. Price for this one, $79.99 retail, which brings me to the resale market. Resale market, we've already seen these. These just dropped at the bottle shop today, and people are already posting them from the damn parking lot. And you're seeing prices anywhere from as high as $800. The lowest I've seen so far right now is about $650, but it's early. They should come down hopefully a little bit more, probably into about that $400 range, but time will tell. Availability here is going to be limited. Value for this, if you find this for $79.99, it's not a high value, it's a stupid value for what you're getting in this glass. Now again, this is pertaining to this one, this high proofer. The lower proof ones, when you're getting to the 120s, I'm not sure if it's going to be this type of experience, but as far as what this goes, it's not just a high value, it's a stupid high value. Most I'd pay, and this is going to be important because $79.99, most likely a lot of people aren't going to find it for that. So how much would I pay for this? Being that it's so rich, so unique, you know, so how much I love it, I'd probably go up to 200, maybe even 250 for this. I don't think I'd go much higher than that. It is 10 years old. It's got a nice age on it, but I don't know if I'd go up into the 5s or the 6s for this. Even though it's got a ton of flavor, it's more of a punch in your face rather than something that's like super nuanced and super, I don't know, super layered. I think there are some layers there, but I think for what I'm tasting in this one, especially with all the proof, I'd probably pay up to like $250 for this. Alternatives, I don't know, man. I don't know what an alternative for this would be. I mean, probably a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. You can get lucky and find some Coy Hill rick houses on those single barrel proofs that are on the shelf. But even better, if you find a pick or someone that's done a single barrel store pick, you can get flavors close to this, but I just don't think they're gonna get as dark as this. And the other rye I would mention that gets into these proofs and gets into these really rich flavors is Corbin Cash. Corbin Cash out of California is making some incredible, rich, dark flavored rye whiskeys that could get into this realm for about $100. So you're not gonna break the bank if you can't find the Jack Daniels. If you haven't seen Corbin Cash, I have a bottle right here, and this is what it looks like. If you see any of these Corbin Cash rye whiskeys, this could be a nice little alternative to this Tanyard Hill. And as far as I recommend, is it a skip, a try before you buy, a buy, or a buy and back it up? If you're getting this at retail, you buy and back it up immediately. I mean, that's probably one of the easiest decisions you're gonna have all year. It's so good for $80. Now, if you're paying secondary, or you're paying in a resale market value or an upcharged market, whatever store you're at, I would probably, it's still good enough to buy, but like I said, just watch how high those prices go. I think they will come down a little bit more eventually, but as far as the release from Jack Daniel's, this is an absolute home run. It's a killer. It's what people love in rye. It's a sweeter rye with deep, rich flavors, chocolate, barrel char, molasses, and everything you love in a really deep, rich rye with all that proof, and it's Jack Daniel's. So if you all love that, then this one is gonna hit the mark for you. Good luck trying to find it. I need to try to find it, for God's sake. I'm so happy that Jack Daniel's sent me a sample, but I'm gonna have to find a bottle of this one. Maybe 2. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching this review on the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Special Release Tanyard Hill here in 2025. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, find me on Instagram. Let me know down in the comments if you're on the hunt for this one, what you think. Are you really searching for this one? Are some of the resale markets gonna be just too high for you to actually seek one out? And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. Cheers, I'll see you next time right here on the Mash and Drum. This is so good. I might have to blend this with the Coy Hill, see what that tastes like. Cheers.